we had known the guys over at Mark Burnett for a while and had been speaking to them about some different projects. He was actually a big fan of a show that we also do called Celebrity Ghost Stories, and had always told us that he wanted to get into the paranormal space, wanted to get into the recreation space. We had done that before. And when we came up with this idea for School Spirits, it just made sense to go to him. We had wanted to partner with him on a great project. This was something that he had expressed interest with. So we brought the idea to him. He instantly fell in love with it. And we went to sci-fi together. You know, we always sort of seriously joke here that the best people for this show, the best voices for this show, are the people who don't actually want to be found. They're the people who have had, really scary, in some cases, life-changing experiences. And your first instinct is not to run out there and tell people, because, quite frankly, you don't want people to think that you're crazy. So we decided that the best way to do this was the grassroots approach. Local newspapers, alumni newsletters, school newspapers, places where we could get in front of people who may not be out there, sort of advertising themselves as being haunted, but put these things in places where they could see it. Up until Celebrity Ghost Stories, I had absolutely no personal experiences, but just had a complete fascination with the genre. Reading a lot about it, watching other shows, like I said before, always being fascinated that people from such different backgrounds and from different locations would tell such similar stories. That was sort of the birth, the origin of Celebrity Ghost Stories. I would say that most of the people on my Celebrity Ghost Stories staff, including myself, have at least once felt the presence of something. Myself, I felt fingers of a hand touch my shoulders once while we were actually shooting. Turned around and there was absolutely no one for at least 20 feet. It was a pretty eerie sensation, and like I said, a lot of other members of our staff have felt something. But I think it's still that need to sort of find answers, to explore, that keeps driving us to do these shows. For us, the most credible voices and the people that I'm most fascinated with are the people who start their story with, I don't really believe, or up until this happened, I never believed in ghosts, but after this experience, I have to give it a second thought, or it's now something I need to figure out. Those are the people that you genuinely you want to watch, and you're interested in where this journey takes them. You go to college. It's supposed to be the best time of your life, and then the last thing you ever think will happen is that you're haunted, and in some cases haunted by terrible, evil, violent spirits. So I love that balance. This is supposed to be that best time in your life, and it's not. That's a good question. I think right now our oldest story is Geneseo. That takes place in 1984. I love to do stories that go farther back, and we're always looking for them. Luckily, we have not. I don't think we've hit a story where we couldn't put the story on yet because one of the voices, was no longer with us. I'm trying to think.
I think for future, for hopefully future stories.
We're actually exploring a story right now where one of our voices. The story actually takes place in the 60s. or 50s, the backstory. But one of our voices is potentially a 90-year-old woman who was an RA in the dorm when this spirit supposedly passed away tragically. And she wants to do the show. We're working out the details now. So that would be really great for us. And I imagine an extremely credible witness. I'd be very excited to meet her. So right now, Geneseo is our oldest one, but we'd love to go as far back as we can. You know what? The show was such a great process for us and such a great partnership. I think what happened here is that we took a lot of our stylistic experience from some of the recreation shows that we've done, Celebrity Ghost Stories and a few others, and we really melded it as much as we can with his storytelling sense, because, you know, obviously in the non-scripted world, no one tells these stories like he does. He really is a genius. So it's fun for us. You know, it was a new type of partnership for us. We really enjoyed it, and I think ultimately the show is kind of a melding of the two worlds, of the two brands.
I think that what you'll see is it feels more higher production quality. You know, it has that you know, the bigness that you would expect from a show, you know, from a show from Mark Burnett. It's obviously not reality competition in any way, but it just feels bigger. The production value is very high, and
it really feels like you get lost in a film.
It feels like a movie.
In a great thriller or a great horror film. And he constantly pushed us towards that.